Descent into Darkness. Mafia King's luxurious mansion night. Guest room. Author's POV. She regains her consciousness. She opens her eyes slowly, adjust her surroundings. She blinks several times to adjust her eyesight and recalls what is happening and tries to think where she is. Then the reality hits her and she realizes that she is in some type of guest house in Jungkook's mansion. What she was doing here? She was in the basement. How she get here? Then she think when she unconscious, maybe Jungkook take her here. Her heart is heavy with despair as she contemplates her dire situation and cursing the time when he kidnaps her. Wyan, she says in an angry yet sobbing voice to herself. He says he loves me. Is this his love? No, he never loves me. He is just obsessed with me and nothing else. Her eyes brimming tears continuously. She is in constant fear of losing her loved ones. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoes in the dark guest room and the door opens with a loud thud and the guest room is dazzled by the light that is coming from the outside. Mafia King Jungkook appears in front of her and their eyes meet as she trembles with fear after seeing his eyes burning with a twisted mix of love, desperation, and obsession for her. Jungkook, kneeling before her, as he spoke in mocking voice. So how was your day here, baby? Is it good, As he began to caress her cheeks while holding her chin firmly in his hands and spoke coldly. Tell me, my baby doll, what are you thinking? Say something, I want to hear your honey voice. He waits for her response, but not getting any response to his words, he says, Why are you not looking at me? I told you so many times don't look away. When I'm talking to you, are you become deaf or what? You got guts, right? You need a good punishment, doll, of ignoring me. Wyan just shrugged off his hand from her chin, and without answering his question, she just bury her face again into her knees and sit there quietly without giving any damn about his words and him. Jungkook becomes angry after not getting any response and fully ignored by her. He angrily gets up from the ground, throws things here and there, and shouts at her in rage. Just say something, you dummy. Again, not getting any response from her, he tries to calm himself down, and then he says in a cold, calm, and husky voice, All right. As he exhales angrily and says in a soft yet dark voice, I'm here to offer you a simple deal, just answer me in yes or no. Marry me willingly, and I will lavish you with all the luxuries this world has to offer. You'll want for nothing, and your family will be safe under my protection. Wyan recoils in horror, her eyes wide with disbelief. Wyan, in a shaken, angry voice, you expect me to marry you after everything you've done? Why are you doing this to me? What harm have I ever done to you? Saying that, she stands up from the ground and says in an angry, stuttered voice, Do you know how much I'm afraid of the dark, but you still cage me in this dark basement? I think I'll just die here soon and am unconscious for so many hours, but you do not even come here and see me for once if I'm okay or not, but you never come, and you say you love me. What kind of love is that, She says that while clutching his collar harshly in her hands. You know what? You never love me. You are just fucking obsessed with me or my body, saying that while gritting her teeth. You are a heartless psycho monster who just love to snatch happiness of people. Wyan, pushing him backwards harshly with her hands, and she says in an angry, restless voice, Just get out of here and leave me alone. Don't show me your so-called fake sympathy and love. Jungkook doesn't like it when Wyan pushes him away from her. He emotionlessly looks at her as he roughly and desperately rubs her cheeks and wipes her tears with his big veiny hands as his grips tight around her slim waist, and he shot a glare at her in a threatening manner and says, Push me, punch me, and do anything to me, but you are not going anywhere away from my grip. Do you get that, my baby doll? He smirk widely and say, I love you, my baby doll, and don't let you go anyways, so stop dreaming. Baby. Jungkook, gripping her hair in his hand tightly, he says in a cold, demonic voice, you can use as many abusive words as you can, but not on me, my baby doll, unless the consequences are not good for you. Because I don't give authority to anyone to say those cheap words to me. Do you get that, doll? As he releases her hairs harshly from his grip. Jungkook, I don't like those girls who use abusive words, so don't make me mad unless you clearly know the consequences, my baby doll. Saying that, patting her cheeks lightly. And yes, I love and I'm obsessed with you dangerously and madly, with your body, with your soul, with your eyes, with your lips, with your every fucking single body part of yours is mine. Hwan tremble in fear after seeing his psycho-like expression in his face. She freeze in a trance like her soul left her body as her body become numb. Jungkook again says something as Hwan comes out from her trance after listening his voice. Jungkook, obsession lingering in his voice as he spoke in his dark, dominating voice. You know, baby, that's also true that I'm desperate to have you in my arms, and for that I can even kill anybody without even thinking twice just to see you besides me. I would move heaven and earth to make you mine. But if you refuse me, if you deny my love and try to run away from me again, then your family will suffer the consequences of my wrath. I will not hesitate to unleash the full extent of my power upon them. He gazes at her with a mixture of longing and madness, his proposal hanging in the air like a dark cloud. Jungkook, pleading with desperation, possessiveness in his voice. Please, say you'll marry me. Say you'll be mine, and I'll make you the queen of my world. Without even listening to her answer for his proposal, he lifts her up in a bridal style in his strong arms and walks up to his big, luxurious, king-sized, well-furnished bedroom where everything's so antique and lavish like an ancient king's bedroom. He carefully made her sit on his bed and says, John Jungkook, who never even cares for anyone, is so much in love with you that he is pleading with you. Tell me what kind of black magic spell you did on me, huh? Saying that, he taps on her nose lovingly. As us open her mouth and answer his question in a quick reflexes, he slightly pushed her on the bed and pinned her hands above her head and intertwined her both hands with his one big hand as he hovers her and intertwines his one hand's fingers with her both hands as with another hand he grabs her waist tightly and pushes more into his chest. Hwan trembles in fear by his touch as she doesn't understand what is suddenly happens as she tries to understand her situation. After realizing her situation, she tries to get away from his grip as she pushed him with all her might but still can, to even shake him a little bit. A terror trying so many trial of pushing him away she doesn't. He sucked breathing heavily she again tried to push him, but how can a fragile flower like girl get away from a beast like him? Jungkook, irritation in his voice, he says, stop struggling and stop resisting me, kitten, you can't get away from my grasp, you know that very well, right, my baby doll? As she still continues struggling to get away from his grip. In a dark husky voice he shouts at her, stop struggling, doll, you are mine, why don't you surrender yourself to why it is so hard for you? He releases his grip on her waist as his hands opens a drawer, he grab handcuffs and lock her hands above her head with it. She becomes shocked. After seeing her hands are tied with hands cuffs, she becomes frightened at the thought that what he is up to now. Hwan, in trembling, fearful, shattered voice she spoke, what are you doing, Jung?